Good morning, everybody. Welcome to TLDChat. What day is it today? It's Friday. That means it's Video Friday. And what is Video Friday, you ask? What is Video Friday? I knew somebody would ask. It is the day we talk all about video and all the fun things that we do with video for the training, learning, and development community. We are TLDChat, and the training, learning, and development community is focused on helping you, the practitioner, do the things that you do at every single day of your job, not just the instructional design stuff, but everything you need to do to be successful, whether it's dealing with the politics of corporate life, whether it's dealing with vendors or dealing with yourself, figuring out how to get through projects, how to plan projects, how to work on a team, all of those tactical things you need to do to get the work done and enjoy your career in training, learning, and development. But before I go any further, since it is Video Friday and we do have Matt Pierce in the house, I want to give a shout out to TechSmith. We'd like to thank them for supporting us, Matt especially, for hanging out with us on Video Fridays and being the awesome supporter that he and TechSmith are to us. They are the makers of Camtasia and Snagit. So thanks to you guys for being the Video Friday sponsor. And Matt, I will get you in here in shortly. We have a fantastic guest today, but before we get to the guest, let me just make one more quick little announcement about, yes, TLDC 18. You might be thinking to yourself, wait a minute, Brent, you started TLDC 16, and what happened to 17? Nothing really happened to 17. It just sort of got pushed into the beginning of 18, so we couldn't really call it 17, but it's kind of 17 and 18 put together. So, but we'll just call it TLDC 18 for now. And it's going to be fantastic. We're going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, my hometown and current state of residence. And I can't even begin to say how psyched we are about it. Definitely going to be building upon all of the things that we learned from TLDC 16 and going to be making it a fantastic value-added event for you. So if you are interested in looking for a new event, an event that is less boondoggle and more value, then feel free to check us out and hang out with us. If you're not sure about it and you're a little bit maybe hesitant or concerned at all, we have a ton of people in the chat that are going to be, that were there at TLDC 16, and they will tell you all about it and how great it was and how much fun they had and how much value added that was brought to them via the event. I think we had some companies started from the event and some books were written because of the event, and a lot of people were motivated to pull some projects together because of the event. So, and a podcast. That's right. I keep forgetting. 5 trainers in a car started at TLDC 16. The brainchild of Matt Pierce. And so we will get you guys on here in 1 second. And before I bring on our guest, I do have one more announcement to make. And I just wanted to go full screen here and just make the announcement that, hey, you know what? Brent has been kind of easygoing and has had a lot of time on his hands for the last couple months. But I have secured a new job, a new full-time employment. And so for those of you, drum roll please, who have been wanting to know what in the heck has been up with Brent and what's he doing, yes, indeed. I signed on with EdCast. I'll be in their enterprise solutions group, their biz dev group, and working on creating the future of what we do in training and learning and development. So if you want to know more, please feel free to reach out to me and let me know. I'm happy to show you all the things that I'm excited about and what we can do in the industry with new technologies and help us help us kind of get away from the old traditional stuff and start to support our employees and customers and the people that we deal with, whether you call them learners or not. Give them the things that they really need and at the time that they need it and all that good stuff. You know, all that stuff that we talk about all the time. Yeah, it's there. So anyways, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to our guest today, Mr. Mike Sloat. How are you, sir? Now his video has disappeared. Why did you leave me, Mike?
What do I have to do?
I don't know. Can other people see him?
Hold on. Oh, wait.
Oh, there you go. You must have muted yourself.
I just sat here drinking coffee.
Yeah, maybe that's it. How's it going, man?
Good. Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Congratulations on your job.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Very, very, very excited about it. But enough about me and TLDC. We're here to talk about you. What the heck? What do you do? What is it that Mike Sloat does anyways?
Well, mostly this.
Yeah, yes.
No, not mostly.
Right. This is stuff you love to do. But what's the stuff you also love to do?
Video, man.
Yeah, the video stuff, because it's Video Friday. That's why you're on here. Everybody, if you guys do not know Mike, you may have seen him at some of the L&D events around as the video guy, capturing all of the sessions and everything that's going on. And you may have wondered, what the heck is he doing with all of that gear? Why does he use all that cool stuff? And it's because he's a pro. He's not just some random guy that goes out and shoots video. So how did you get into this anyways?
How far back do you want me to go?
Oh, I don't care. You were born in...
When it just started, there was a camera in my hand, guitar in the other hand, and I was like, yeah. No.
Which one do I do first?
What do I do? Can't I do both? The world is so unfair.
It is.
How did I get into this? I got into it because I started writing stories, actually. I started writing just stories about things that were happening, and I kind of slowly thought, you know, I want to visualize that. I want to see it. So I started doing videos, ended up going to film school, started a production company with a bunch of dudes, and it just kind of took off from there.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's that easy.
It is that easy. You just got to get out there and just do it, right?
Right.
We talk a lot about that these days. Maybe we can get into the quality question later. I don't know if Anthony's on, but we can push his hot buttons and talk good enough is good enough, or making sure that it's quality. And I think everybody has sort of a different definition of quality, but I don't know if we want to go there just yet anyways. You know, it's fun to get Anthony riled up. So if he's not here, that might not be a fun topic. But, what kind of, Katie wants to know what kind of stories.
What kind of stories? You know, personal stuff, meeting my wife. What else? I don't know. Weird things. When I first started doing video, I had all these stories written about dreams that I had that were like gnarly, that were just weird and crazy. And I turned those into one of them. Well, I took a couple of weird dreams that I had and turned it into an entire feature-length script that I've never done. Eventually I want to do it, but you know, that's one example. I don't know, all sorts of weird stuff. I don't even know where to start with stories. Jeez.
Everybody's life is filled with stories, Katie. I think that's where we kind of all go with this, right? I mean, I think everybody's got a story that they would like to tell, and video is just an awesome way to do it. You've done music videos before, haven't you?
I've done a lot of music videos. That's probably I got a weird mix of like for a long time it was 50% music videos or music documentaries behind the scenes and 50% educational videos. And, taking like what we've always done, my partner and I and my crew, we always try, if we're doing educational videos, we try to bring our music video background into it to make it more interesting and exciting. Doesn't always work, but, camera techniques or editing techniques, or even just, not being in a studio, being out somewhere and doing different types of stuff than just talking heads. We try to combine those. But yeah, I've got a big music background and music video background, and concentrated on that primarily for I don't know, 6-7 years probably.
How did your first educational video come up? What did that look like?
Oh, geez. I had started, so when I was still in film school, this is around 96, 97, I had my production company going, and a friend brought a job to me from Wadsworth Publishing, I think they were back then. They're a textbook publisher. And they did this weird, funky job a couple times a year that was just promoting different authors and stuff. So we did that for a few years, and that led into doing videos for their communications textbooks. So that was kind of the first thing, was creating these, helping script and film these communication scenarios for some of their textbooks, which was really fun because they would give us a topic of, you have an office setting or you have roommates or something, and can you create a conflict and then a resolution? So we would write scripts for that. We would shoot it. And, my partners and I, we were all filmmakers back then. We all wanted to make movies. So we would film them as cinematic as we could. We would treat them as they were, short films. So that was a cool way to get into it. That was kind of fun to just spend, 3 days with a big crew, all the gear, and just make all these little communication scenarios. So that led into, so that was with Wadsworth Publishing. That led into different departments with them. That took us into like the criminal justice department. So we did all these cool scenarios with criminal justice. And then that led us into math textbooks and doing calculus and trying to find, cool real world scenarios to put a math instructor in on a lake and figure out, the randomness of waves or whatever. So
now that sounds kind of cool. That must have been fun. Math and videos. I wouldn't expect to see too many video requests from a math textbook publisher or anything like that.
We've been doing math videos for Cengage Publishing since 2008.
Wow.
And it's a blast. It's so much fun. We kind of got it down pretty well now. We'll do 5 days of shooting. We'll do 3 days in the studio, 2 days out of the studio. So like 3 weeks ago, we have this math instructor from upstate New York that comes and works with us. And he's a blast. He's like the coolest guy. He's a big outdoorsman, and he's got this heavy New York accent. He talks super fast, but he's so smart. He's calculus mainly. So, we got, 5 guys behind the camera listening to, equations. And we're just like, And, it's fun.
So
it's cool.
Is it whiteboard stuff? I mean, Matt was
Well,
mentioning, or are you guys really trying to help explain the math via imagery?
Yeah, so this guy, he likes to do either real world scenarios or some kind of example. Like this last time we did, I'll bring, I've got so many guitars sitting around. He's like, bring a guitar. We'll figure out, the vibration of the strings. Oh. So we put glasses on him. He's got a guitar. He's doing a riff and he'll stop. And a roadie will come in, take his glasses, pull the guitar off, and he'll say something like, did you hear the math? And, he goes into why the strings vibrate as long as they do. Something like that.
Ah, cool. Now, are there any, does he put any of those up on YouTube? Can we show one real quick?
I don't know if there's any. I think there might be some on the company's my production company's website, but I don't even know.
What's your production company? I'll look it up.
Roaring Mouse Productions. I think actually the guitar one should be in the work page now that I think about it.
roaringmouseproductions.com. Got it. Let's see what we've got. I love the logo. All right, so we've got Nuclear Blast.
Nuclear Blast, that's probably really loud heavy metal videos.
It looks like it. I'll save that one for later. That's second half of show material. I got a nice pelvis shot.
Oh, what? It's not me, is it?
Now it's an X-ray, so it's all right. It's all good. They're commercials. It's the commercial section. There's a gears section and a work section. Would that be it?
Sure.
Tyler Fly. Well,
my internet's so slow I can't even get there.
I'm bogging you down, making you be on this live video thing. Commercial.
But yeah, to answer your question, so it's sort of whiteboardy, but it's he's against a white screen, so we can fly in equations that he's talking about, so you can see it on the screen and work through it with him. But at the same time, he's doing something.
Oh, how about here, modeling harmonic motion? Is that it?
That's the one. Yep.
All right, hold on one second. We're going full screen.
There it is. That's my one of my guitars I built, by the way.
Nice.
Did you hear the math? That's it right there. He's trying to be cool, by the way. Trying to be extra cool right here.
He's doing a really good job. Oh, wait, you guys can't hear this?
No, I can't hear it either.
You can't hear it?
No. It's all confusing graphics and equations anyway. Well, that's it. We try to bookend them, with a cool intro, a cool outro, and some kind of real world example of
cool.
To make an equation work, to make a theory work.
I love it. I love it. Fantastic. And so let's dig a little deep before we hit 8:30. How does the sort of the project management side of it come together for you, right? You've been doing this a long time. Can you share any sort of tips and tricks? I mean, it's probably sort of second nature to you now when a project comes to you, but is there Is there a step-by-step process that you follow with your crew or with yourself just to kind of keep you guys on track as far as a production schedule or scripting, things like that? The real tactical stuff?
It depends on the job. I mean, a lot of times a client will come with the script in place, and at that point we do a budget that they're going to reject and hate. I think I've heard that a lot in the, you know, all of the e-learning business, and yeah. But yeah, it is kind of second nature because we have been doing it a long time. So normally myself or my partner will do a budget. We'll run it by each other. Then we'll run it by his wife, who is the accountant and a CPA. And she'll say, you forgot this and this and this. And
wait, even after all these projects, after all this time, you guys still miss stuff?
Oh, we're knuckleheads. We're video guys. We're like, where do I put the camera?
We're video guys. We're not money guys.
We're thinking about guitars and chicks and cars, man.
Yes, no. Rock and roll, baby.
No, there's, you know, things fall through the cracks once in a while. And I mean, I've been doing this a long time. And I did a project 2 years ago that was such a mess. I forgot so many things dropped, you know, slipped through the cracks. It was embarrassing. And that was like a real wake-up call. Like, what just happened? That was like months of misery trying to get this project done. And we're professionals here. How does this happen? You know?
Yeah.
That made us really, you know, you need a second set of eyes on things quite often just to say, hey, don't forget this, don't forget that. But yeah, so it starts with the budget, all the logistics of, you know, locations and props. There's a lot of props. There's, you know, just with this math thing we did a few weeks ago, we had to figure out, you know, we need a boat. We need to get a boat out on Lake Sonoma. How are we going to do that? Where are we going to do that? How many people can we get on? How safe is it going to be?
Yeah. How do we protect the gear? Do we have the waterproof stuff just in case? And
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, all of those things that I think customers too forget all of those little things that go into it. They just think, oh, the video guys are just going to go out there and shoot it, and it's no big deal. And why are they charging us so damn much?
Totally. Yeah, that's frustrating. People, I mean, it's gotten really easy to shoot video as far as the accessibility of cameras and editing gear. So like we noticed once DSLRs started being so big to shoot with,
yeah,
probably almost 10 years ago. I want to say, I mean, the first one I ever shot with was a Canon 5D Mark II. I want to say that was at least 10 years ago. So, people got their hands on those, and you know, you get that depth of field where you're in focus here. Right behind you is totally out of focus, and it looks so cinematic. Everyone thinks they're a cinematographer and a director now. So that
now
made things so much more difficult.
Right? Now the iPhones can do that. So now everybody's going to think they're a filmmaker.
Right. Super difficult. So, you know, we got to keep up with that kind of stuff, and we got to figure out ways to make what we do different. Yeah. And look better and sound better. A lot of people, I've seen so many videos, even, you know, it's still happening where people don't consider audio. I mean, you want the audio right up front. You don't want it to sound like the camera is as far away as it is. And people forget that so much. And it can make a really good looking video so amateur if your audio is bad, you know, and if your lighting is bad. And
oh yeah. I mean, they didn't, everybody didn't get a chance to hear it. I wish I got to figure out how to get those YouTube videos to push the audio through to Crowdcast, but yeah, I mean the audio on those videos is fantastic. I would encourage all of you on the chat to go check out Mike's website and watch those videos because it really does make a difference. I know You know, Matt even mentioned, Matt, I'm going to bring you in here in a second. Yeah, I mean, we're always talking video or audio on Video Fridays. It always tends to go that way because everybody's starting to get to that point now where it's like, wow, you know, audio is really important. We even had Brian Fanzo on here the other day, iSocial Fans on the social media stuff, and he was mentioning the same thing. He's not a video guy. He's not like technically, you know, he was never trained professionally to be one, but he's way into it from the social aspect. And even he didn't really realize how important audio was until he started doing the videos and listening to his own videos and then listening to other people do it. So yeah, I mean, it's incredibly important.
Oh yeah.
Without a doubt. So how about we geek out on some what am I trying to say? Some technology, some product, some camera, some gear. You happen to have your stuff nearby?
Nope. I don't keep it in here. The one piece of gear I have are my Sony MDR 7506 headphones, which are the best ever. Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Is Craig on here? Can someone do a link? Somebody find a link somewhere on Amazon.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, I've been using, it depends on the project that we're shooting. We've shot on everything. We'll still use old crappy video cameras if it fits the look and the feel of what we're trying to do. But my main rig right now is a Nikon D810 camera. It's a DSLR. We have a couple different lenses. That goes out to a Shogun Flame is what I use.
What's a Shogun Flame?
That is basically a screen. I mean, it's bigger than this.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a recorder. So you go HDMI out of the camera into a Shogun Flame, and that carries, audio. You can do separate audio going in, and it records on little hard drives. Records on, these hard drives.
Oh, okay. And the Flame handles all of that?
Yeah, Flame handles all audio and video.
So it doesn't. So it's not. It handles the capture too. It's not just the monitor.
Right. Yeah, it's an amazing monitor too. The monitor is incredible. It's so clear and perfect. It's amazing. But yeah, it's a recorder basically. Yeah, it's such a great recorder. I don't even put a card in the camera anymore. I mean, you should as a backup, but the Shoguns are amazing. They have different models. I'm not sure. I don't keep up on gear very much, which is lame, but they have different models, different prices, and all that stuff.
Nice. Hey, Matt, how's it going? Hey, you're math guy today.
I know. Look at this. It's quite the setup, but playing with some technology, playing with the Yeti, figured I'd try to go a little higher end today, see how it works out.
Nice. So are you on a green screen pushing it through to Crowdcast or?
No, I'm not. This is actually a white piece of paper behind me. And so if you hold on a second, I can show you something real quick. So just a second as I pull this up. Here we go slow. Here we go.
Oh, now you're green screen. I got it. Okay. Now that's slick. That's too high tech for us. We're all DIY here. Okay. We totally can't handle that.
Well, it's just a big roll of paper. That's all it is. And we got lights. So I've been playing with it for some video stuff I've been doing. So I thought, well, I've got it set up. Let's just do it. I'm using the Blackmagic to do a DSLR through a monitor into the Blackmagic to my laptop. So it's actually pretty convoluted, but
that's
it works.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that Blackmagic a few episodes ago, a few Video Fridays ago. So if anybody has the link to that, we can jump you in there. So Matt, I'm going to give you a second or so. We lost Mike.
Oh no.
Must have had a data issue, but it is 8:30, so I'm going to take a quick break right here, and you just let everybody catch up on the chat and whatnot as I catch up on some other fantastic things. So, oh wait, I'll probably need to invite Mike back in. You know what I'm going to do though is, oops. I'll do this. Bear with me, everybody. This is the break where you can all get up and run to the bathroom really quick if you can. And Joe Gonchi, sir, I'm going to bring you in here shortly. Just hold on for me. We have kind of a plan today, so.
A plan, you say?
I know, right? I never have a plan, but today I have one. Oh, shoot. That's not the right button.
I will say while Brent's doing that, one thing about this setup that's very inconvenient is I can't see two things at once. I can't taking Diana's device. I can't look at the camera and the chat, or else I just look down.
Yeah,
so
it is tough. But
tough.
anyways, all right, here we go. So now we're full screen. So I just wanted to take a break right here and also talk about TechSmith, a very, very fabulous company helping out and always sharing with us. We've done some free giveaways, and of course Matt gives us his time and his knowledge and hangs out with us on Video Fridays, but they've just been such a fantastic sponsor for us, for lack of a better word. But they are the makers of Camtasia and Snagit. You may be using Snagit, and you maybe have for a long time, and you didn't have any idea who the company was that actually made it. This is who they are. This is TechSmith, the makers of Camtasia and Snagit, and they're big supporters of the learning community. We really, really appreciate that. So, if you've been in the industry for any period of time, I'm sure you've seen their products and worked with it in the past. It's been definitely one or more of their tools has been a part of my toolkit for many, many, many years. And so I absolutely cannot tell you, how powerful these tools are to help you be better at what you do, right? They make great media. You can make all sorts of content around it. It's not necessarily an authoring tool, but media creation tools that get you a lot closer to creating some fantastic media in an easy way that you can use for all of your learning projects. So we once again thank those guys for helping us out and being a fabulous, fabulous sponsor for us here at TLDChat and supporting the TLD community, and also working on having them come out and be a big part of TLDC 18. So more on that to come. And again, TLDC 18 is coming up in January 29 and 30th. So get on that website, tldc.us, and click on that little thing right there that says conference. Oh, no, this one right here, it says conference, and go ahead and register up for that. It's definitely got all the value you expect from a conference, and none of the extra fluff that you don't need. So we are extremely excited. And I also want to take this 30-minute break to just say I have a shout out to everybody who's hanging out today. Thank you so much for hanging out. Cara, I see some new faces or some of our newer names that I have not seen in a while. Darlene's here. Anna's here. I think Anna's been here before. Good to see you. We have two Caras with us. I knew Cara North was here, but I believe Cara Beck is new. Thanks for hanging out with us. And all of you guys, Miranda is here. She hung out with us during L&D Talk, but I don't think we've seen you on TLD Chat yet. Kara, oh, sorry. I always get that wrong. Dang it. I stand corrected. We'll go with Kara. I hope, did I get Miranda right? Miranda? You know, I used to just avoid saying names because I would butcher them so badly, but I just have to practice and get better at it. So, you know, I apologize, but I promise I won't call you honey.
You can call me honey.
Change of venue. Excellent. That's what we like to see. Shaking it up a little bit.
I was out in my office, and apparently it's too far from my internet connection. So
definitely. We got to get close to the Wi-Fi.
Closer, yeah.
Yes, it's all good. Although we don't have the cool guitars in the background anymore. How are we going to roll into guitar building if we don't have guitars behind you?
I'm going to slowly walk back and see if I can keep the connection. I'm going to tiptoe back to my office.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, let me ask Matt a quick question. I know he's been checking out the chat. Have you seen any questions in there, or do you have any questions for a pro filmmaker regarding our industry?
Well, I think you hit on a big one. I was really interested in gear. I guess specifically we could talk about if there's things that like you mentioned a couple of go-to things, but like for people who are maybe not professional level at that end, what do you recommend if they were to get started and they're going to get something, pick up a camera? Where would you think that you would advise them to start?
I mean, as far as gear or as far as
yeah, gear. I'd say let's start with gear, like camera, audio, like thinking about the e-learning industry. They're not going to go out and be professional filmmakers, but they don't just want to shoot with their mobile device.
Yeah, a tripod first. Get a good tripod. Camera-wise, I really like the rig that I'm using right now. So it's a Nikon D810. It's a DSLR, but for that to really work great, you got to have an external device to record to, in my opinion, at least. I like the. It's called an Adamus Shogun Flame, and they come in different price levels and quality and all that stuff. But that's for me the key to that whole rig is having that thing. It's a great monitor. It records the video coming from the camera and then separate audio coming from your microphone source. So the Nikon D810 with the Adamus Shogun Flame microphone. I mean, we have a few different microphones. We use a shotgun microphone quite often, but a lavalier is great. It's quick and easy. You don't need someone holding the boom pole standing there. Wired or wireless, we use both. It just depends on the situation.
Do you even have a little pocket camera maybe? Like say you don't want to take the big rig out on a shoot somewhere. Do you have like a mini rig of some sort that's kind of your go-to, or do you always doing the big pro stuff?
I mean, the DSLRs aren't too hefty, I don't think. Even with the, you got your camera, you've got a, what's it called? your monitors riding on top of that. And I mean, it's not big, it's pretty small, but I don't know. I mean, that's all I've been using for a long time. For a smaller rig, I don't know. I mean, they make a professional quality camcorder that are going to do all in one instead of a separate monitor, a separate camera.
Yeah. What about lighting? What about, do you have like a little mini light that mounts up there too, or do you do that separately?
We've used them. I just bought a lighting kit last year that is LEDs, but they're bigger. They're maybe 18 inches square.
Okay.
All LED lights, and they're dimmable in power, and they're dimmable in color temperature. So you can go from, a bluish exterior to the tungsten interior type lights. And those are getting cheaper and cheaper and they're awesome. They run on batteries, which we've never had before, which, you know, we can go anywhere now and shoot anything.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. I think those are called Genere lights. And I got a 2 light panel kit with a bunch of batteries, 2 light stands, 2 mini light stands, and is that it? And then you can plug them in too. They're not just battery powered. You can plug them in as well. So all of that stuff, I can basically travel with 2 cases. I've got a camera case that has camera, the Shogun, a teleprompter rig, all that stuff in one case, and then a light kit case, like an REI case that has both lights, all my batteries, a tripod, all little extra stuff, and usually my clothes.
Yeah, so good point. So cases, right? So what do you use a hard shell case at all? Like what do they call it? A gator or not a gator, but
Pelican case. I use
pelican, yeah, some kind of animal. I don't know.
I'm gonna try to walk back to my office now because the light is killing me.
We don't have that problem in Michigan. It's just gray.
It was gray, but now it's beating down on me. Let's see if I can keep an internet connection as I go in. Yeah, we use Pelican cases.
Okay.
To travel. My light case, I wanted a soft case to put my lights in. Just, I don't know why. Hey, I'm still connected. There's my guitars. Okay. But yeah, so it's pretty, you know, I think I'm pretty mobile with everything. I try to stay mobile. Oh, and my part of my rig right now is also a glide cam. It's basically a miniature version of a Steadicam, which is awesome. That whole rig, the Nikon with the Shogun on a glide cam, is an amazing look. It looks so nice. So I've been running around events with that for a few years now, and it's great. It really ups the production value of the way a project can look when you've got nice, smooth moves happening. A lot of people.
What's the name of that Steadicam again?
It's a glide cam.
Glide cam. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, let's get back to the training stuff, you know, real quick here. I was just thinking about this, and I know, you know, you're not a training guy, you know, education guy, you know, in general, but you've done these videos. What have you picked up that, you know, just from, you know, your personal experience as to what makes a good instructional video in your mind? Like, I'm sure you've done a lot of these, and so, you know, what do you try to go for when you're either scripting it or thinking about it or helping a client decide, you know, what you should do? What are some thoughts that go into that?
I think for me is keeping it thinking, you know, because I went through film school and we've done short films. We've my partner and his wife and I did a feature film. We're always thinking more cinematically. We're thinking of what lenses to use and how to throw that background out of focus and things like that to make it more cinematic. But at the same time, we, you know, there's always so much discussion about keeping things short. And I just don't feel like that's always necessary. If you've got an interesting topic, it can be as long as it needs to be, as long as it's interesting. I've been doing a lot of videos lately for a homeless shelter here in Sonoma County. And they always start out saying, you know, we want it to be like 3 minutes. But then we do these interviews with these guys who are used to be on the streets and have these amazing stories. Yeah. And when I cut it all down, when I take 3 hours of footage and cut it into, you know, trying to reach 3 minutes, it gets to 7 minutes. And it's like, I can't cut anything or we're going to lose the story. You know, it's so important to keep the story in there. And so I, you know, I've learned for me that the length of a piece just doesn't matter anymore. We try to keep things short, but as long as it's interesting, people are going to stick with it.
Keep it moving. I think a lot of what we struggle with in our industry from a training perspective and L&D and whatnot, I think we try too hard to add that instructional element. And when I see that really those things you just mentioned are instructional elements, they are the things that will make it a good video educational. I can tell, like, you probably didn't have an instructional designer look through the script of the guy playing the guitar and talking about math, right? You guys scripted that, right? And talked with him and worked it out? Or did you have an instructional person look it over? Or
I don't know.
I'm making assumptions, but
so as far as that, specifically that video and all those videos, that author or that math professor writes the script, then it goes to the publishing company. They have someone look at it. I don't know who that person is. It probably is an instructional designer, or it's probably more like a math person, though, like a math.
Yeah, I would say they're trying to get the math right. But you know, when I look at that, I mean, when we talk about Gagne's 9 events of instruction and whatnot, right? Getting somebody's attention.
What?
I know, right? It's like you just sort of naturally know. It's like you didn't start the video by saying, in this video, we're going to teach you how to blah, blah, blah. No, there was a title, and then you had something that was very catchy. Nobody talking. It was just somebody playing the guitar. And so, it draws you in.
You know what that is? That's, like I said, the 5 guys behind the camera go, what if we put a guitar in there? That'd be funny. What if we have the roadies come in and do this? And the math professor's in there going, okay, whatever makes it fun.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes the 5 knuckleheads behind the camera the instructional designer.
Exactly. I think my point is that it's not so hard to be, when you've got some creative experience, right? And you know how to tell a story, and visually, and what you like to watch and how you like to learn, really, that can get you most of the way there. Okay, yes, maybe there's some instructional other stuff that, we should know in our industry, but when you're creating the media, really, I think everybody's got pretty decent intuition, especially folks like yourself that have been doing the media creation for years and have done, gajillion projects.
Right.
Hey, Brent, I think what happens is we, in the industry, I think we could take a book out of the, people who are making professional video and films and have, I think we get caught in the kind of the corporate structure and are afraid to reach out and try to do something and tell that story because it doesn't fit the mold, right? Like putting a guitar in a math professor's hand probably doesn't fit the mold for most math professors. But like figuring, I think so it's taking that leap of faith that like, we're going to do something interesting and it doesn't have to be too crazy, but it's going to be much more interesting than what we typically would do. We're going to use something a little bit different. And I think that goes a long way. And people, I think our audiences are generally, they come into that, accepting that and being like, oh, this is really great. Like I just was working on a trailer video for a conference and it's got something really different about it. And it's drawn a lot of attention internally because people are like, oh, wow, that's really cool. And it was super simple. It's just a small little device to get people thinking and to show some creativity. So I think there's a lot we can take away from that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I think I was just thinking about something we pitched to a client several years ago, an instructional video for an Italian restaurant chain that's up here in Northern California. And I think enthusiasm for something goes a long way too, because we went into this meeting with all the corporate people from this Italian restaurant chain, not really knowing exactly what we wanted to do, but they had done this giveaway a few years before with this little Italian chef stuffed character that they gave away. So my partner came in with that, and they were like, why do you have that? And he's like, because this is what we need to do. And he went into this pitch of having a puppet an Italian chef puppet running around the restaurant doing everything wrong. It was like a good cop, bad cop thing. Good cop was, one of the employees. Bad cop was this puppet that was ruining the restaurant. So he'd do something wrong. But my partner's pitching this thing, dancing around like he's the puppet, blah, blah, blah. And I was just sitting there like, oh my God, where did this come from? And everyone, all the executives on the other side of the table were like, whoa, they wanted to do it so bad. And it was like his enthusiasm for it absolutely won him over,
Sold the project, huh?
Yeah, completely.
Nice.
And the bummer of that project.
I'd love to see how that one turned out.
Oh, it was a blast. It was so much fun, so I've done some puppetry. I've done a little bit of puppetry and stop motion and stuff. And so my partner was like, you'll be the puppet. I'm like, okay, we're going to dub the voice though. I'm not doing a fake Italian voice. I don't do voices. Are you kidding me? And they're like, well, just do a voice just in case something. No, just in case. We need to pick someone that can do an Italian voice now. So I ended up doing this really horrible Italian voice, and they ended up using it. It's so horrifying. It's so bad and offensive and everything.
It's been a few years. Do you remember how you did it?
No, Brent, I don't. It sounded like the chef from the Muppet Show.
Oh, excellent.
That's how bad my Italian accent is.
I was going to say, except he's Swedish.
No, it was bad, but they still use it. This is years ago. This is like 10, 12 years ago, and they still use this thing. Nice. And they love it. They see it, and they're like, oh, my God, it's so funny.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we got to get a link to that so people can see what you're talking about.
Oh, man. It's probably on the same website. It's probably on there. Mary's Pizza Shack is who it was.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. I think, if you've got enthusiasm for a project that you really want to do and you can pitch it that way, I think that goes a really long way. I've done that a few times where I got a really stupid idea and, but I like it. I want to do it so bad. It's like, hey, let's do it. And you get excited about it. People are like, yeah.
Yeah, I think if we got more passionate about the work that we do in the corporate space, I think we would probably see ourselves being a little bit more influential. We always talk about, well, how come I don't have a seat at the table and blah, blah, blah. I think maybe we're a little dry at sometimes. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I'm lucky I work at a tech company, and I think tech companies tend to be a little bit more progressive on having that fun. We do an April Fool's video every year. That's super fun to create. But I think, a lot of times it's like we want to do the stand and deliver thing, and that's tough. And I know sometimes environments are hard to change. I know several people I've talked to, it's just like they feel beaten down against it. But
yeah.
Oh, no, Luis just posted the link to the video. It's on YouTube.
Oh, excellent. He found it. Awesome.
Oh, it's so
now
bad.
Everybody hold off on watching it, right?
Don't go.
Yeah, hold off until after the show. After we're done, then go watch the video, or else you're going to miss all of the best stuff.
Damn you, Luis. I got a video of Luis I should post, actually. It's really good. It's him eating donuts.
I do have another question, if I can, Brent.
Yeah, shoot.
Mike, I'm curious, like, of all your film experience, what's one of the fails that you had that you learned a lot from?
Oh my God. So 2 years ago, so I've been working with this band, Machine Head, heavy metal band out of the East Bay for many years. I did my first video for them in 2003, and we've just always gotten along really well, and so I've worked with them on and off for so long. And 2 years ago, I'm talking with the singer who's like, the main creative force for the band. And he wants to do this video. They write long songs. It's like 6-7 minute songs. And they want to do a video that's not performance. It's not them just playing. It's random, weird, creepy stuff nonstop. So he's got this list of naked dancers, gas masks, Nazis, us hanging upside down by the rafters, just so many things. And so I'm scribbling down all these ideas. Oh my God. it's a list of like 500 different weird, creepy things. And it's all taking place in this creepy environment. And there's smoke and fire. There's like flames shooting up behind them. It's like, oh my God, how much money do you have? So basically it started out as a 2-day video for like $36,000. In the end, it was a 4-day video for $60,000, something like that.
Yikes.
Every day we showed up, I had let something fall through the cracks. And that was like so embarrassing to be, you know, almost 20 years into my career and going, oh my God, I didn't get the gas masks. I didn't hire the dancers. I didn't get a wrangler for a snake. We didn't hire a studio teacher to be on the set with the kids. You know, all these last minute things that had to be taken care of, or we were shutting down. It was the most stressful time ever. We were doing 12 to 14-hour days in Oakland at this warehouse studio space. Oh God. It's making my stomach hurt just thinking about it.
I was just going to say, if we're causing too much consternation here, we'll.
Oh, it was brutal.
But I think the good point is that, you know, everybody, no matter how far along in your career that you are, you know, sooner or later, you're still going to run into those problems, and you're always going to run up against, you know, stuff. It happens.
Personally, I think it's fine too. Looking back at it, it's, oh my God, I'm so much more ready to do a big video like that because, you know, we got knocked down several notches. It was like, I went into it a little too cocky.
Yeah.
And, you know, getting knocked down like that once in a while, I think is great because it reminds you that you can fail and, you know.
But it helps you stretch yourself a little bit too, right? It reminds you, you know, all the work that you put into it and different ways to go about doing it. So let me take a different angle here real quick. I can remember, you know, one of the first times I met you, one of the first videos I saw of yours was you building a guitar.
Okay.
Do you still show your build process?
I haven't done it in a while. The last one I did, I built an Eddie Van Halen replica for a friend of mine. This one's mine.
Doesn't he call that Frankenstein?
Yes, the Frankenstrat.
Frankenstrat, that's right.
I did that one. That one was for a friend's son, who's a huge Eddie Van Halen fan. So I filmed the whole thing so he could watch it being built on Christmas morning as he gets the guitar.
Oh, nice.
Cool. But I want to keep doing it. Actually, there's a luthier supply company just 10 minutes up the highway from us who I went in to get some supplies a few weeks ago, and they're like, hey, you're the guy that did that Flying V video. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, we should talk. We're building a fake luthier studio in the back to shoot videos. I'm like, what?
That's what I do.
Let's do that. Hold on, I'm just gonna post someone was asking about the Machine Head video.
Oh yeah, post the Eddie Van Halen guitar video too.
Oh, okay. But it's just like a lot of people, when I've done 3 or 4 guitar building videos, and I never show the lacquer process when you're spraying because it sucks. It's horrible. It's the worst, like nastiest. There's just, you know, you spray lacquer and this fine mist goes everywhere. It's disgusting and so toxic. I don't want a camera in there, you know.
I was just going to say that's not good for a lens, I would assume.
Right. People think I don't do it myself because I never show it. There's been comments about that on my videos, but it's just because it's such a horrible, frustrating process of it. Like all the art, all the woodworking and getting the angles right, that's all cool and everything, but the lacquering process is terrible. But I want to start doing it again. Actually, you know what? I just did, stand by. I started doing these carved top guitars. So this
Oh
is
yeah,
all-
I saw you. I saw somebody pick one of those up. You put it on Instagram.
Right. So it's a double-headed dragon. It's all carved in the top of the guitar and made to, I painted it to look like it was metal. But I do have
I'd call that the Game of Thrones guitar.
exactly. I was Googling dragon images, and that came up on a Game of Thrones picture, and I was like, oh, that's the dragon all day.
That's the one.
But yeah, so I did some time lapse of me doing the carving on top of that, and that's easy. I set a camera up above me on my workbench and just let it go.
So so let's get a little bit more specific. How do you just set a camera above you? It's got to be a little bit harder than that. Do you have some sort of mount, a special mount that you use, or?
I think I did a GoPro with that. So stand by. I do have that in the office. Nope, I don't. It's just it's a Gorilla Pod.
Oh, okay.
Bendable.
Yeah.
Legs. I just clamp it to a shelf above me.
Okay.
The GoPros have their own case, so it just sits in there.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out just because I think a lot of people feel like they might need some sort of really big mounting rig, because you can buy them, the mounts that allow you to shoot straight down over when you're doing drawings and stuff like that. But there's ways you can work around it. So I think it's good for people to hear that you don't really need that. If you've got a nice shelf and an area that kind of works, you can rig something up that does great.
Oh yeah, I've used clamps too. The clamps, you compress them and they close down. I'll just put an iPhone clamp to a shelf above me too. It works fine.
To get that top-down shot, yeah. See, these are the practical tips we look for. It's the little things, I know it doesn't sound, like anybody should have just thought of that, but sometimes it's like, oh yeah, duh, I totally should have thought of that.
Yeah. Oh, I have those moments all the time. I'll stand in my little shop area going, ugh, how am I going to do this? And the simplest thing comes up. It's like, oh, I'll just mount it to a shelf. Duh.
Yeah.
It's like trying to rig a tripod over me.
Yeah, trying to dangle it from the bottom of the tripod and get it all
right.
over. You're like, wait a minute, I don't have to do this.
Right. Easy.
Oh man. Well, hey, listen, I'm totally cool going over. Matt, you got any last questions or parting words?
I guess my last question is just any last advice for people making video to make their videos. I mean, we talked about gear, but outside of gear, kind of technique stuff, anything you'd say like, hey, if you learn one thing or you can get better at this one thing, what will make you better at making video?
Practice editing. I would say practice editing. Find a song and edit random footage to a song. Find a rhythm, like being a musician. I've got a rhythm that I like to work in, even in editing. Since I do so many music videos, you cut on a beat. I would say practice editing. Timing is so important in your cuts, and I see a lot of mistakes with edits going too long and too short and awkward. And
and that's something we don't talk about much, right, Matt? I mean, because it's true. The best way to learn how to shoot video is to learn how to edit it, because when you're editing, that's when you're like, oh, I wish I would have taken that shot. Oh, what I really needed was this kind of shot. And so if you get good at really knowing what you're going to need in the edit suite, then you get better when you're behind the camera, knowing which shots to grab.
Totally. Yeah. It's so much better to think on the set as you're shooting. If you're thinking like a director and an editor, you're going to get the shots that you need in the end. Think like an editor for sure, and practice your editing. I started out as an editor. When I first started film school, I just loved editing. So I practiced and did so many projects. And then as I started shooting, I realized I'm thinking like an editor. Yeah, it's really important.
Yeah, and I would say I know a lot of instructional video doesn't necessarily have music in it, like it's seen as a distraction in the background. But I love your advice, because you can still cut to music even if you don't end up using the music, right?
Yeah.
Like, creating the rhythm to help you to move through versus whether it's going to be in the final or not. But
Yeah.
so it's great advice.
It was interesting. When I was in undergrad, one of my roommates at one point, one of the semesters, was a film major, and they were shooting on 8mm. And so they had to actually, when they were cutting, they were literally cutting the film and taping it together.
Right.
And one of his projects was, shoot a short video about a really simple object, but create tension and make it really stressful, but no music, no audio, just through the visuals. And so he started out the whole thing with real long edits, long shots. And as the movie went on, he kept making all the cuts and the edits shorter and shorter and shorter. And it got quicker and quicker and quicker until there was a resolution over this. That wasn't even really a mystery, but it was just from the very first shot, you'd think to yourself, oh, why is she sitting there by the pool smoking a cigarette? And just by the way he edited it, kind of brought some resolution around it, but really had this tension. And there was no music, no audio, nothing. And I just remember thinking to myself at the time even, damn, that's cool. I didn't realize editing could be on its own, alone, could be so impactful. And now I see it all the time. In action movies and even in when there's dramatic scenes, watching how those cuts play an important role. It's cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, okay, so we're 10 after. Joe, I'm sorry I didn't get you in, man. I know he was itching to get in here and do and jump in for some Video Friday. I'm sorry, man. We will get you in for sure. But Mike, thanks so much for hanging out with us today.
No problem. Thank you. Being
our video guy, where can people find you and all your stuff? Not like physically, but like where can they find you on the internet?
Stay away from my house, Brent. Work-wise, going to YouTube and just typing my name in is probably the best. I have a website, but it's so funky and outdated. MikeSloat.com, but you could try it. But I would just go to YouTube and punch in my name. And then my production company that I work with, I'm not, technically I'm not a partner, but I do most of my big projects through them, is Roaring Mouse Productions. We're up in Northern California.
Yep, I can bring that one up again too. Probably a little late for me to be doing this. But.
And I do have a Facebook page for, someone started a Facebook page for my guitars. Mike's Sloat Custom V, I think is what it is. That's kind of cool. Lots of pictures. And stuff like
somebody else started your Facebook page?
Yeah, this guy I built one for was like, you need to have a page. You need to get business. And he just started it for me.
Nice.
Yeah, true sign of appreciation in the modern day.
Right. I want to do more.
So last question: what kind of pickups do you have in that?
EMG. I play metal, so high output EMGs.
EMGs all day long, right?
Yep, I like them. They're good.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to buy myself a Mike Sloat special. I'm working on it.
I'm ready for you.
All right. Do I get to send you the design I want carved into it?
Yeah, it better not be dirty and naughty. No, whatever you want.
I don't think my wife would let me do that anyways, but yeah, I'll figure something out. Yeah.
Great.
I'll put it together. Awesome. Well, hey, man, thanks again for hanging out with us. This was tons of fun. Appreciate it.
I don't have any cool branding, so I just wore my old school Van Halen shirt.
Yes, I noticed that.
I'm not branded like Kevin Thorne. He had nugget heads everywhere.
Nah, Van Halen and a couple flying V's in the background. That's really all you need.
Totally.
All right, man. I'm going to go ahead and close your video out. But
right.
Again, bud, good to see you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
All right, Matt.
All right, here we are. Another Friday. We're done, right?
Another Video Friday in the can. How things going for you and TechSmith?
Things are going fantastic. A lot of people are loving Camtasia. Some nice talk in the chat, so can't complain on that front.
Good.
We're doing some cool stuff. So it's all exciting. Good times.
Nice. That's what we like to hear. So, where's the next thing you're going to be at? Where can people find Matt?
So next, I am at ATD International in just 2 weeks or so in Atlanta, Georgia. I will be there presenting, and we have TechSmith has a booth there, so you can find me out in the show, going to sessions or talk to people in the booth. And then after that, if you want to get far as out as June, Bank Trainers Conference, and then focus on learning. I've got a session. I'm going to be part of a panel, and I'm also doing a morning buzz session. So if you like to get up early, you can come chat with me then. So doing lots.
I know those are the speaker's favorite sessions to do, is when they get invited to do a morning buzz. I know that.
It's so early. It's like 7:30.
Love it.
But it's California time, so I'm guessing California time. I might not be adjusted quite yet, so I'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll get it. It's okay. A cup of coffee and you're good to go. They don't call it morning buzz for nothing.
Right. And we're talking, all those topics are video as well. So if anyone, wants to dig in video, let me know. If people are interested, maybe we could do a podcast, 5 trainers in a car, even if we don't have a car. Cool. The TLD chats inspired me. I'm thinking if we got a couple people, we could run a D&D campaign, one-off, quick, 2-hour, have some fun. So
nice.
However people want to find me.
You're going to be the dungeon master?
I would be the dungeon master. Got
somebody has got to live stream that. If you pull that off and people hang out, I'm all there on the stream.
if not at one of these events this year, TLDC 2018. I will figure out how to do that.
We'll bring it back old school, man. The table, the dice, we'll turn the lights down and everything, and yeah, we'll make that happen. Maybe it's a session. I don't know. Ooh, I wonder how we could do that. That's
We'll make it so so instead of monsters, it's all it's like you got to make your way through corporate learning. You got to fight off the counting, and then you got to fight with IT and
plus 10 if you're wearing the shield of IT doom. Yeah, we could just go on forever. Matt, thanks again so much, and thank you for supporting us on TLDChat and TLDC18. We're looking forward to having you out there.
Yeah, excited. So
yeah, and
thanks to TLDC. I mean, we're happy to be sponsors and supporting the community. And if there's anything that I know, there's sometimes questions come up or problems. We've got great technical support. We've got great ways. You can always reach out to me, and I can get you the help that you need. So
perfect. Fantastic. Well, again, thank you, Matt, and thank you, TechSmith, for being our sponsor and supporting the community so strongly. So it's fantastic. I will chat with you later.
Thank you, Brent.
All right, take care.
Bye, everybody.
All right, folks, that's it. That's a long Video Friday. I just think in general, Video Fridays, really, maybe we just need to push Video Friday out to be like a 3-hour session or something, and just you just hop in whenever you want to, and we'll just let the stream go all day long. Maybe, I don't know, but too much fun, lots of important content to talk about. And so we'll start talking more about how video is going to fit into larger solutions too. That's something I've been thinking a lot about. So I need to talk to Matt and Sam too about that, and see if we can put something together, a conversation around, fitting video into the larger solution, what that looks like today. Because there are a lot of new systems and platforms out there that are allowing live streaming, like this, or, Snapchat or Instagram style live streaming right within the learning solution products. It's fantastic. And so what does that look like? And how does that impact the instructional design community and the training community and training teams in general? I think it's big, not in a bad way, but I think, in a good way. It just has, it gives us another tool in our toolbox, as we like to say. So anyways, again, special thanks to TechSmith, and super special thanks to Mike Sloat for hanging out with us. If you guys ever see Mike wandering around with a camera and his glide cam at a learning and development event, stop by, say hi. Tell them, hey, I saw you on that TLD chat thing. You were awesome. And tell them you want to buy a guitar. And that'll be awesome too. So anyways, thanks again, everybody. It's been a fantastic day. Another Video Friday is in the can. And everybody have a great, great weekend. And we'll see you first thing Monday morning. And if you hit up the crowdcast.io list of events coming up, we have our listing for our guest on Monday as well. So big week coming up. And we will talk at you all soon. Everybody have a great weekend. It was fun. Thank you. Adios. Oh, and happy Cinco de Mayo. Almost forgot about that. Everybody stay sober. Adios.